Well, I want us to look at this indicator by Lux Algo called the order blocks and breaker blocks. And there is a reason why I've decided to look this indicator, because there is an indicator still he has created by the name breaker blocks with signals. So I decided to look at these order blocks and breaker blocks to see the similarity or the difference between these. So guys, in this video we're just going to focus on the order blocks and breaker blocks. And as you can see, there is a word order blocks and breaker blocks. Okay, so guys, let's add the indicator on our charts. Once we add the indicator, we're just going to learn the usage of it. Once we learn the usage of it, we're just going to understand more about the indicator by the name order blocks and breaker blocks by Lux Algo. Okay, so guys, the only thing you really need is a TradingView account. The indicator is super free, so just going to click on Tradingview.com. Once you click on Tradingview.com and the indicators, you're just going to type order blocks and breaker blocks by Lux Algo. Click on it. Once you click on it, this is how it's actually going to appear right on your chart. So guys, as you can see, this indicator comprises of very many things that you can see highlighted in different colors, actually dashed. So that's what you're really going to pay attention to, so that we can learn about this indicator. Okay, so guys, I would love you to keep this in mind about the description of this indicator. So the order blocks and breaker blocks indicator detects order blocks that can be turned into breaker blocks on the chart, automatically mitigated. So users can determine the amount of bullish or bearish order blocks that display on chart within the settings menu. You can look at the settings menu and you see what you really want to see on chart. But basically, this indicator detects an order block that can be turned into breaker blocks on the chart automatically once mitigated. So what does this tell you? Once an order block, whether bearish order block or a bullish order block, can turn into a breaker block, that simply means maybe it's broken above or below on the chart once mitigated. Once it is mitigated, that's when we can find a breaker block, and that is what this indicator does. So guys, I really know now you have an idea what this indicator shows us and what it really comprises. So let's look at the usage of this indicator. Of course, being able to really know what we can see right on chart right here, the dashed line, the green line, the red line, all those things. So guys, usage number one, as you know, I've talked much about the detection of order blocks previously. However, the concept of breaker blocks was not yet introduced. So when price mitigates an order block, a breaker block is eventually confirmed. We can eventually expect price to trade back to this breaker block, offering a new trade opportunity. We can see that this is similar to a change in polarity, where a support becomes a resistance after a breakout, and vice versa, just as you can see on my example right here. So guys, as you can see right here, what I've said about the usage number one is like when price mitigates an order block, a breaker block is actually confirmed. And this is what we really mean by price being mitigated. So price is mitigated at this level over here, then we got this breaker block, and you can see the dashed line shows a breaker block. So we can eventually expect price to trade back to this breaker block, offering a new trading opportunity. So there is a probability price can really come back to a breaker block, so that we can find a great trading opportunity. So this can happen and this may fail, so you better know there is a probability of those two things happening. Okay, so guys, that is usage number one. So whenever you will see the blue highlights and the red highlights, the blue one shows you a bullish order block zone and the orange one shows you a bearish order block zone. So when you see a red dashed line or a dotted line, that shows you a breaker block. So as you see, we can wait price to come back to the level so that we can find a great trading opportunity at the level. So let's look at usage number two. So this indicator highlights a regular order block as a solid extended areas on the chart, and breaker blocks as dashed line with dual colored areas. The color change and dashed line start at the location where the order block was mitigated. So using a higher swing look back setting will return longer term order or breaker blocks on the chart, where an order block highlights a regular order block as a solid extended areas on the chart. So just look at this. So this is what I really meant by usage number two, whereby the script highlights a regular order block as a solid extended areas. So this is actually the solid extended areas, just as you can see right here on the chart, and breaker blocks as dashed lines with dual colored areas. So the dashed line I told you before, they are the breaker blocks. Okay, and the color change and and dashed lines start at the location where the order block was mitigated, and you can use a high swing lock back. So the lines you can probably see over here, they actually shows us the swing highs and the swing low. Okay, so guys, this is our usage number 2. You can see for real we had order block confirmation over here, and as well we had an order block mitigation of the level, and as well we have this dashed line which shows us a breaker block, and this level over here also showing us the price re-entering the mitigated order block, highlighting a bearish trade setup. So that's what you're really supposed to understand about the usage number 2. So guys, allow me to go to usage number 3. Usage number 3, users can optionally enable historical polarity changes labels within the settings menu to see where breaker blocks might have provided an effective trade setup previously. So the historical polarity changes setting is disabled by default and is most effective using replay mode as the labels are backpainted. So the order blocks and breaker blocks themselves can be used in real time as they are detected based on the swing length and previous breaker blocks being mitigated, just as you can see on my chart. So this is what we really mean by usage number 3, where you can actually expect to see these once you have optionally enabled the historical polarity changes to see where breaker blocks might have provided an effective trade setup. So this shows you an effective trade setup after actually enabling the historical polarity changes. So that's what you're really supposed to keep in mind, so that every time you enable that historical polarity, you know what to expect right on your chart. And the historical polarity changes settings is disabled by default and is most effective using replay mode as the labels are backpinned. So the order blocks and breaker blocks themselves can be used in real time as they are detected based on swing length and previous breaker blocks being mitigated. So that's what you're really supposed to understand about usage number 3. So guys, let me hope you've learned something about the order blocks and breaker blocks by Lux Algo. It's actually a very great indicator, and let me hope you now have an idea how to use it correctly, or you have understood it. Okay, so guys, I wish you nothing but the best. Continue working hard, because I believe and I know one day your hard work will pay you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, like this video as well. And what do I say, guys? Bye bye, see you in my next video.